to the next episode of the Extra Point Podcast. Um, this one's kind of a special edition type thing, going into playoffs and the Super Bowl getting ready to happen. So first off, once again, myself, Project Fat, my co-host Tom. How is everything going for you today?
It's not going too bad. How about yourself?
I can't complain at all. So first, we're going to start off with a little bit of a playoff recap, how things have gone to this point so far, and kind of lead that into our Super Bowl matchup. Um, so I'm going to kind of touch on the wild card round a little bit. Matchups we had there, we had the Chicago Bears taking on the New Orleans Saints. Saints kind of edged that one out at the end. Pulled off kind of an upset in my eyes, especially with the season that they had this year. They beat the Bears 19-14. Um, Next up, we had the Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings. I know this one probably hurt you a little bit there, Tom, but
It
Seahawks
definitely
did come
did.
out on top there, 30-20. Next game was my, hurt me as well. Broncos versus the Dolphins. We were unable to pull it out against the Broncos. We lost to them twice in a matter of 3 weeks, so that's something that we'll kind of be regretting the rest of, for last season. And then the last matchup was the Kansas City Chiefs against the Tennessee Titans, and the Chiefs pulled that one out with an 8-point victory, 24-16. So you want to kind of touch a little bit on the divisional matchups?
Yeah. The first one I think was another upset here with the Bengals over the Chiefs, 13-6. Now the Chiefs, were kind of a favorite in the AFC to make it to another Super Bowl appearance here, but the Bengals were able to beat them out here, so that was a big win for them. And then, not surprisingly, the Lions beat the Saints. The Lions have seemed to really have the Saints number over the past couple seasons. I know they beat them in the playoffs last year, beat them earlier in the year this year. Now they beat them in the playoffs again. So I think the Lions, they know the key is to beat the Saints, and they keep winning. So that was 24-14 Lions. And then big game with the Giants and the Seahawks, 35-21 Giants. Again, I think that was as expected. Giants coming in as the number 2 seed, Seahawks coming in as the fourth seed. So that was a big win for the Giants. And then a very odd, tight scoring game with the Broncos and the Chargers. The Broncos won that 6-3. Neither team got a touchdown. That's two high-powered offenses right there, unable to score a touchdown. So you don't see that often. That was a very nice defensive game. That's rare to see in the NBL. So tell us a little bit about the conference championship round now.
So I mean, first off, I'll cover the Bengals and the Broncos. Really, really close game. For the most part, these that's how the playoffs have been this year. Is all the games have come down pretty close. Um, Tight. Broncos again. Came up big at the end. They finished that one 24-21 over the Bengals to move on to their second straight Super Bowl appearance. And then, you know, probably one of the better games of the season. Lions matching against the Giants, the two powerhouses over there in the NFC. And the Lions edged them out 12-10. I know speaking with the Lions before, they said this is a really big game for them just because they remember playing them in the regular season, and they're just a really tough team to beat. So they were able to edge them out 12-10 once again, and also make their second straight Super Bowl appearance and trying to defend their title against those Broncos.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the Lions were held to 4 field goals the whole game. So anytime you win on 4 field goals, your defense is doing a really great job. And if you actually, the game was 10-9, I believe, uh, under the 2 minute warning, and the Lions actually fumbled the ball on their drive to get that game winning field goal, but were able to pick it back up. So that just that little thing right there could have completely changed the game. I think the Giants would have ended it right there and won 10-9. So that was a huge game. Good game by both sides. You can't really fault the loser in a 10-12 game. So good luck to the Lions and the Broncos on in the Super Bowl here. So actually, why don't we talk about that a little bit, because this is the exact same Super Bowl as last year. So what do you think that Backley has to do different this year to edge the Lions out?
And I'm just gonna say, and I don't want to, definitely don't want to put pressure or anything on the Lions, but I think that this is their game to win. Um, they I think they clearly have a better team. I'm not saying that the Broncos have clearly proved us wrong all season long, especially one point in time. I think they everyone kind of wrote them off to even to make the playoffs. So I definitely don't want to write them off just yet. But I do think the Lions kind of have the team to beat. But I think for the Broncos to take care of the ball. I know one thing they did really really well uh, against myself earlier in the playoffs was running the football. So I think that's going to be a really big component for them in this game. Running the ball, controlling the clock, and not giving the Lions too many opportunities on the offensive side.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. Being that I play the Lions twice every single season, I feel like I kind of know his game pretty well. So the Broncos is he's got his work cut out for him. The Lions are, in my opinion, definitely the top team this year. You know, Matthew Stafford got that MVP and he well deserved it. He operates that entire offense as a whole, and they are an offense that thrives on just not turning the ball over. That's how they beat their opponents. They don't give their opponent extra chances to, have possessions and beat them. So Backley's really going to have to, try to force Stafford or Anthony Asante into a fumble or an interception or something to give his offense an extra chance because that Lions defense is smothering as well. So Backley and his Broncos absolutely has his work cut out for him, and let's hope he doesn't have another Super Bowl blunder here.
Definitely, yeah, that's something they definitely want to put behind them, and they could easily do that by coming out and winning this game. So
Yeah, definitely. So enough about the Super Bowl and the playoff guys. Let's give the guys on the other end some love here, and talk about our guys who are top in the draft here. So our top five picks in the draft, we got at number one the Ravens, at number two the Bucks, at number three the Eagles, number four the Cowboys, number five the Bills. Uh, is there anything you think that these teams really need to improve on in the early end of the draft to better themselves for next year?
I mean, one thing I can really think of off the top of my head is I feel like all five of those teams um, need a little bit more consistency on the offensive side of the ball. Um, I know last season the Ravens they really really needed some depth at in the cornerback position, and they added some depth there, and I think they have some guys that they can work with coming out of their rookie seasons. So I don't think they necessarily need to address that position again. Definitely more offensive side of the ball. Obviously, we know the Cowboys and their quarterback play this year. So is there a possibility that they go after a quarterback in the draft? Maybe. Or maybe they're looking to do something in free agency. Who knows? But I know that's one position that I believe that they need to address sooner rather than later. And then the Bills, playing them, twice a year. I feel like they have a pretty good team. I think they just, um, can get unlucky sometimes, and I think they turn the ball over a little bit too much as well. They have a tough defense. I know it's not easy for myself to put up points against that team. So I think once again, just kind of focusing on the offensive side of the ball, getting a little bit more consistency there.
Yeah, absolutely. I know for the Ravens, I can only see them going two possible ways with that number one pick, and that's either taking a quarterback or taking a wide receiver. Because I know it was either this past season or the season before this. There was some stat going around NBL that the Ravens hadn't thrown a touchdown pass going into like week 12 of the year, or a wide receiver and caught a touchdown pass going into week 12, something like that. And looking over their roster, they really don't have any big name wide receivers, and the quarterback's just average at best. I mean, when he's on his best game, he's average. So I think the Ravens have to go one of those two ways. The Bucks, they seem to have a very average team. I've played them quite a few times, and I don't think that they're bad in any place, but I don't think they're great in any place. So I think out of these five picks, I think they probably have the best option, being that they can really just go after the best talent because they kind of have the most well-rounded team. Um, Eagles, they have an elite quarterback with EJ Manuel and one of the better wide receivers in the league with Mohamed McClennan. So I think they're going to go defensive side. Cowboys last year loaded up on the defense in their draft, so like you said, they could probably go with the quarterback this year because that Justin Sims uh, blunder was bad. That he almost thrown 40 interceptions last year, and then like you said with the Bills, they just need a little more consistency there.
Yeah, and like you said, touching on the Eagles again real quick. I think, like you said, they have some good talent at the quarterback and wide receiver position. And the only thing I really think that they could do with that pick, but I don't know if it'd really be worth reaching at that point, is maybe a running back. They didn't have too much success running the football. I don't even think they eclipsed the 600-yard mark as a team, which, I mean, in my personal opinion, doesn't really help your quarterback anymore when you can't run the football. So, I mean, that would be the only thing I could think that they would do. But then again, I don't know if there's anything worth reaching at that point.
Right, and I know in NBL here, the running back draft class is a little weak, so you could definitely see them reaching. They got Shady on the very, very back end of his career. I could see him being cut this year, as well as Lamar Miller on the back end of his career. So I could see them, possibly reaching here for a running back at that third spot if they find the talent they think they have. But that is where I think they're going to go. But real quick here, let's send it to a little break real quick, and then we'll be back with our exclusive Hall of Fame announcement. To announce the next nominee into NBL's Hall of Fame. Hello, MBL. I just wanted to thank everyone once again for tuning into Extra Point Podcast here. We're going to use this little commercial break here to announce MBL's new exclusive partnership with the Madden U. The Madden U is your place to go for everything Madden. I'm going to flash up the link to their website here, MaddenU.com here. If you're ever looking for a good ebook, to make Madden like a chess game, not a checkers game, or you're looking for a strategy guide to go with your Madden playbook to expand what you already have, go ahead, check out their ebooks here. They have a free ebook on there with the running gun, or they also have some ones available you can purchase. So go ahead, check that out on their site. Also, be sure to follow them. Their Twitter handle is at the Madden U, all one word, as well as their Facebook and YouTube channel is also the Madden U. They also have an app available for the Android and Apple stores here. It's called the Madden U. Go check that out. Easy access to all their features they serve. So, give the Madden U a look and see how they are.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are here with a very, very special announcement, and our Hall of Fame winner for this last season. So I'm going to go ahead and let Tom take care of that part. It's over to you, Tom.
All right, so being a member of the Hall of Fame committee here, I will announce our winner here. First off, I just wanted to say that both Train and Sonny, that our two nominees here to take that spot, both have done incredible amounts of things for the league. Train has gotten everyone set up with their team Twitter. He's always active in the chat, always helping out with whatever he can do. And then, Sonny, he's got that, the podcast going. He puts a lot of work into that every single week as with the graphics and, outlining the whole thing. So both of these candidates are worthy of the spot. And, whichever one doesn't make it, I think is definitely going to be a lock to at least get into the final two again for next year. So, without further ado, our next newest member inducted into the NBL Hall of Fame is N-Train and his Browns. So congratulations to N-Train, and again, thank you, Sonny, for all that you've done, and we wish you the best of luck next year. And also we'll use this chance here to announce the nominees that are going to be eligible to be nominated into the Hall of Fame next year. So again, let me just briefly go over the process of how this works. First of all, to be eligible to be nominated, there's only one requirement, and that's that you've been in the league for 5 years. You had to be in NBL for 5 seasons. So anyone who's under that is not going to be eligible. And then we're going to nominate 5 people starting in the preseason of next year. And then at the end of the season, start of the next season, we'll break those 5 guys down into two guys, and those 2 candidates will fight it out for the next year. So here's all of our players that are going to be eligible to be nominated next season, and that's Playa Partner of the Bills, Backley and his Broncos, Freddie and his Chargers, Bayou and the Chiefs, Sonny and the Bengals, Delvar and the Ravens, VZ and the Colts, Tout and the Jags, October and the Texans, Ballers and his Titans, Broken Robots and his Cowboys, Mac and his Cardinals, Saluki with the 49ers, myself with the Vikings, Zahn with the Bucks, and Jackie Moon with his Panthers. And that will be our eligible nominees that have all at least had 5 seasons in the league so far. So we'll be back in a couple of weeks with the announcement on who the 5 candidates are.
Awesome stuff. And just real quick, I want to take a moment. I know I'm one of those guys that's not within that 5 season mark, but I just want to congratulate Entrain um, and his nomination into the Hall of Fame. Sonny, definitely don't want to take anything away from him. Like you said, he's definitely done a lot for the league as well, and I definitely see him being in one of those top candidates for next season as well. Just both of them doing great things. Keep up the work, and for people like myself who are new to the league and kind of working their way through, it's because of you guys like you and what you've been doing and the amount that you bring and all that kind of keeps me going and wanting to do as much as I can for the league as well. So I appreciate that, and thank y'all and thank you guys for doing what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, NBL is the best league around. It is the top tier league. So again, I will thank everyone who puts forth what they do to make this league what it is. All right, so again, let's send it to another quick break, and then we'll be back here with DK and his Saints, and we'll talk about inside the huddle that he runs here, and as well as his team, for next season, the last season we have here in Madden 15. Are you an avid Madden gamer? Has your Madden game been slacking lately? Has your opponent been able to tell what play you're going to run before you call it? The Extra Point Podcast and the Madden U is here to help. Visit theMaddenU.com where you can sort through a variety of strategies and other ebooks as well to help expand your game and bring it to the next level.
All right, MBL. We are back with our buddy here, DK. Welcome to the show. Do a little quick interview with him. How are you doing today, DK?
I'm doing wonderful, man. How are you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. First off, I just want to say, thank you for coming on to the show. Appreciate the things that you're doing around the NBL, for the league and to continue to make it better and better every single day. So first off, I want to kind of talk about this new thing that you started up recently, Inside the Huddle. What do you do for it, and what does it bring to the league?
So basically, with Inside the Huddle, I just like to get info that no one really gets to hear much about. I like to go into the locker rooms, into all the meeting rooms and get information from all the owners and players on what's going on around the league and what's going on in the NBL.
Cool. Yeah, I like it so far. I think the interviews and stuff are pretty cool that come from it. So, keep up the good work. Keep doing what you're doing over there. Next up, I want to kind of talk about, what are you doing to promote not only the NBL, but also the Madden U brand on top of it?
Well, I first started promoting the Madden U brand by doing a blog about how, MLB and Madden U is going to be able to help each other, from now and the long stretch, and how I promote everything on Twitter and everything by doing tons of retweets about the app and about Madden U and MLB as a whole. I also just started a Facebook page on where I promote all things MLB and all things Madden U. I used to use it for a Madden league, but it's only one Madden league, and that's NBL now.
Good stuff. Yeah, definitely. And I've definitely personally myself been a part of a few different leagues. This Madden's the only time I've ever really gotten into this sort of thing. But yeah, definitely NBL's next level as far as everybody else is concerned. So now we're gonna kind of talk about you and your New Orleans Saints. I know you guys kind of had you still ended up with pretty good season overall. 9-7 I think is what you guys finished. So just with how things started, that's definitely you definitely went in the right direction. And so I just want to kind of talk to you about you and your team. What are your plans? First off for the draft, what do you looking position specific, best player available? What are you guys doing over there in New Orleans?
Well, the situation in New Orleans is pretty jacked up after going all in free agency and moving up to get the first pick in the draft. I officially have negative funds. This will be the first year in my 3 years in NBL to be in negative funds, so no free agency for me. Good thing is that I only have 6 people that are free agents this year, and I'm going to franchise tag my cornerback Stewart. That is the first plan of action. You got to have great secondary in this league with the abundance of great receivers. I'm going to lose out on Bo Cooley. I brought him from nothing into something. We put in so much work in the off seasons the last couple of years to get him right and take over the team and be the future. But a lot of people was telling me about why did I have 4 quarterbacks on the roster, and I ended up drafting a quarterback in the third round last season in Buchanan, and I ended up starting him for the first time against the 49ers whenever we won in a defensive battle. But he ended up getting injured for 7 weeks. So I had to go back to Cooley, who led me, all the way with a 6-game win streak to get into the playoffs and win the first round against the Bears. So, but Cooley will be a free agent this year. So basically, in the draft, we're looking for a consistent run game. We have not had that at all since I've had this team. So I'm really looking for a consistent run game, and I'm also looking to shore up the secondary. I feel that the worst thing I did last offseason was release Jarius Byrd and bring in LaRon Landry. I'm a big advocate of causing fumbles and hit power, and LaRon Landry brings that to the table, but he can't cover crap. He couldn't cover shit all season, and I was getting beat deep up the middle on a consistent basis. When Jarius Byrd was there, I didn't have that problem, but he didn't cause fumbles. But Landry only caused 2 fumbles all year, so I lost that battle, and the Lions picked him up for the low, and he ended up having a good season with the Lions. So I'm looking to shore up the secondary and definitely get a consistent run game.
Good stuff. And so I think you kind of touched on that a little bit. And I agree with what you're saying as far as the run game goes. It's super super important. First couple of seasons didn't have a very good run game either, and I picked up a young running back in the offseason last year, and he. First time I've had 1,000-yard rusher, so that was really, really good. And like you said, it just makes things a little bit easier. So that's definitely a big spot for you. And I think you kind of touched on the next part about as far as free agency goes. You guys really don't have money to spend. You don't have too many needs, with your guys that are going to be leaving the team. So you're going to be covering most of your stuff in the draft. So how do you feel about, you talked about moving up in the draft with the first overall pick. Do you think that doing that and getting edged in Hale, was that worth it, or do you kind of regret that decision now?
I definitely regret that decision. I had a plan, and I kind of, wasn't able to get Gresham in the offseason last year, and I went all in free agency, and I kind of panicked and felt like I had to take Edgerton Hill when Corbett was the guy that I really wanted. But the way I scouted, it just seemed like Edgerton Hill was just a better player. But it was very unfortunate that we had to go in negative funds and everything, and have to trade away our first our 2 first-round picks for the number 1 overall, which was kind of cheap. But at the end of the day, Edgerton Hill wasn't worth it in the beginning, but he turned it on at the end of the season and made plays. I'm happy to have him, but if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't have traded for the first round. The first overall pick.
Yeah, and like you said, he definitely came on towards the end. I think he was real quiet at the beginning, but I think it was him. He made one of the kind of the catches of the year, like a little bit of a tiptoe at the end zone, kind of later on in that season. So, like you said, definitely came on at the end. Maybe a year from now, you'll be on the other side of things and really liking that decision. Maybe he can have a really breakout season that sophomore season. So next question, want to talk to you about your, back-to-back seasons now. You've lost to the Lions and Bomber in the playoffs. Why don't you touch on that a little bit? How does that make you feel?
I feel that Bomber is the most intelligent player when it comes to playing this game. He schemes well, and he stays running that ball. I don't care what it is. There was a few times on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, where I was, gearing up for the pass, and he will run the ball right up the gut and get the first down. Asante is a man-child, and he has single-handedly destroyed me in the playoffs. Bomber is not your typical, deep to medium passer. He keeps everything short and sweet. He takes his time. He drives the ball up the field with the run game and the short pass, and he plays solid defense. So I mean, I had a strategy for him this game, and just didn't work out again for me. It was very disappointing to have to lose back-to-back seasons to Bomber, but you know what? The best man always wins at the end of the day, and I'll be looking forward to playing him again next year.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, and it's crazy to think about. He does seem to run a lot on third and long, but he also has one of the better conversion rates on third down in the league. I think he might be number one, number two, something like that. So it's something to kind of like think about. And it's just the bottom line is he's not willing. There's a lot of us, myself, I'm one of them. When you're third and long, you're willing to throw the ball, and a lot of times you throw an interception. So he's willing to run the ball, punt it away, and let his defense do the work themselves. So definitely, you can't take anything away from Bomber. He's really good. Like he won the Super Bowl last year, and he was in the Super Bowl again this season. So good stuff, man. Thank you so much again for coming on. Is there anything else you want to add before we end here?
Oh, just want to add one more thing. Team T-Rex all the way.
That's a new thing. It looks like going around the NBL. We got teams of animals and whatnot going on. So good stuff. Team T-Rex. It sounds like. Thanks again, DK. You have a great rest of your day, man.
Hey, you also, bro.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Want to thank DK for coming on and having a little interview with us. We really appreciate your time. But that is it for the next episode, for this episode of the Extra Point podcast. And I want to thank everybody again for tuning in, and appreciate my host, Tom, and you guys have a great rest of your day.
Absolutely. Everyone, make sure again we check out our partner here at Madden U. Check out their Twitter and their app they got on the iOS and Android store. Make sure we give them a look as much as we can. So thanks again, guys. Have a good one.